Today, we're diving into the incredibly high-stakes world of primary care to talk about something huge: burnout. We're going to look at the immense pressures clinicians are under and explore a really powerful mindset tool that can help them not just get by, but actually thrive.
All right, let's just start with a number to put this all in perspective. Take a guess. How many patients does a primary care clinician see in just one day? Well, the answer is often more than 30. Yeah, 30 plus people, each with their own story, their own problems, their own needs, all crammed into a single shift.
And believe it or not, that number doesn't even tell the whole story, because the work, it goes way beyond those appointments. You've got this constant flood of administrative tasks, patient calls you have to return, endless back and forth with other staff, and a mountain of lab results to review. It is, to put it mildly, relentless.
So yeah, that relentless pace, that's a clinician's daily reality. It's just this environment of constant, nonstop pressure. And you really have to understand that intensity to get to the root causes of burnout. So let's take a look at where all this pressure really comes to a head.
You know, in a perfect world, every consultation is this beautiful, collaborative dance where the clinician and patient create a management plan together. But the reality, with that clock always ticking and the pressure building, it's almost never that smooth. Steps get skipped, wires get crossed, and things just fall apart.
And that brings us to the flashpoint, that moment where all the pressure can feel like it's exploding, the distressing consultation. This is when communication just completely breaks down, and the whole interaction becomes a major source of stress for absolutely everyone involved.
And at its heart, here's the conflict. It's really a clash of agendas. The clinician, right, they're focused on their goal, use critical reasoning, figure out the problem, and create a plan. But the patient? They're living in a totally different reality. They have a story they need to tell, and more than anything, they just want to feel heard and understood. The friction happens when those two worlds collide.
And this is what happens next. When that patient's reality isn't acknowledged, you get this fundamental mismatch in the management plan. And this doesn't just leave the patient feeling frustrated, it causes some serious distress for the clinician too.
And we're not talking about some abstract idea of distress. It comes from really specific, emotionally draining situations. Just imagine having to navigate conversations about opioid dependence, or trying to manage chronic mental health, or dealing with cases where there are no clear answers, all while maybe feeling like your colleagues don't have your back. Each one of these just saps your emotional energy.
So that leads to a really important question. Look, most consultations are probably fine, but it's those really tough ones, the distressing ones, that stick with you. So how many of those does it take before a clinician just starts to feel completely and totally overwhelmed?
Okay, so what's the solution? How do you manage this kind of distress? Well, there's a really powerful tool for building resilience, and it's called radical acceptance. It's a way to completely change the dynamic in those incredibly difficult moments. So what on earth is radical acceptance? Well, it's a mindfulness concept that comes out of a type of therapy called DBT. And its whole purpose is to help people acknowledge tough situations for what they are, instead of fighting against reality. And by doing that, you cut down on a ton of unnecessary emotional pain. Now, it is so important to understand what radical acceptance is not. It's not about pretending a bad situation is actually good. It's not about just giving up and letting a problem continue. And this is the big one. It is absolutely not about feeling powerless. What it is about is accepting the present moment just as it is, without judging it. But, and this is everything, you do this while holding on to your power to work towards change. See the difference? It's acceptance, not resignation. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually work in practice? Let's look at how this mindset can become a real strategy that can transform one of those difficult consultations right as it's happening. You can really break the process down into a few steps. First, you just acknowledge the situation for exactly what it is. Second, you let yourself experience it without piling on judgment. Third, and this is the game changer, you let the patient's story actually guide the conversation. And from that place, you can start to pursue change together. It really is like a fork in the road. On one path, without acceptance, you're just trying to force your agenda, and that leads to conflict and distress for everyone. But on the other path, with acceptance, you let the patient's story lead the way. That opens the door to making decisions together and actually building a real professional relationship. And the great thing is, the benefits of this way of thinking go way beyond just one tough conversation. When you make this a regular practice, it has some really profound long-term rewards for your entire career and your own well-being.
I mean, think about the ripple effect here. Your patients feel valued and truly heard, so communication gets better, cooperation gets better, your own emotional distress goes down, and that reinforces your commitment to why you got into this challenging field in the first place, making a long-term career not just possible, but actually rewarding. And hey, on top of this mental strategy, there's a simple, practical change that can make a huge difference. Try scheduling fewer patients in the afternoon. That's when your energy is naturally dipping anyway. It's a small tweak that can help conserve your mental resources and seriously reduce burnout.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that mindful awareness of your situation, of your own mood. That is your single most powerful resource for getting through the tough moments and protecting your well-being. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This whole idea of radical acceptance suggests that maybe, just maybe, empathy isn't some passive feeling we either have or don't. What if it's an active, intentional skill that we can choose to practice every single day?